All right, you're welcome back. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we're looking next at loot recovery and the whistleblower policy of the federal government. Now, Nigeria's federal government has no doubt made gains from the whistleblower policy.
The policy has led to the recovery of looted funds and many currencies in just 4 months.
Yes, of course, we hear some 73 billion naira have been recovered
when you
in
hear such
4 months.
amount, don't you just sit properly on your seat and
like
go,
I'm doing already?
Oh my God!
All right, joining us now is a lawyer, Adekunle Ojo. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
So great to be with you this morning.
Good morning.
So, how excited are you about this whistleblower policy, especially with the results we're getting so far? 73 billion naira in 4 months.
Well, I think the government should be commended. Right, because it has not become more of a deliberate policy of the government to ensure that, yes, they must have tried so many other things and they find out that this one is one of the policies that can enable us to get as much as possible, and it's really working. It's always been there even since, I would want to say, for so long. I won't say since the creation of the world, because if you see a man committing a crime, nothing stops you from saying, look, I found this somewhere. But then it's now a concerted effort. It's a policy now that, look, if you see this going on, deliberate, especially when it has to do with money and few other things that borders on financial and economic crime, let us know. And it's really easy, it's really yielding.
And there was a statement I read yesterday credited to Nuhu Ribadu saying what perhaps we're saying about the amount recovered and the up and about of the EFCC is just like a media war, just winning the wars with the media or rubberizing, playing to the sentiment of the people to say, okay, this is how much we're getting, but that's really not what is going on.
Well, whichever way, I won't say that I'm privy to what you're talking about, but whichever way, if that was said by Nuru Ribadu, I'm not really perturbed by such, because in this kind of a thing, in fact, we even need not just court adjudications, we need media war as well, because we need to let people know that, look, we have problems in the country. There's nothing wrong in coming on here, even EFCC, to talk about our youth, to talk to our youth. How you can cop certain things. So if you call it media war, it is part of the strategy. Like if a man is fighting you and you choose to bite him, is it not part of it?
For that statement to come from Nuhu Ribadu, who was, I mean, there was a time when people would say the fear of Nuhu Ribadu is the beginning of wisdom. He was the helmsman at EFCC, and he doesn't seem to be impressed with what's going on now. What are we to make of this?
Well, about what is going on, in what sense? If it is talking about
in the sense that, look, this is just out there, is a media war, according to him. Yeah. But not beyond telling us how much is being filtered away and all of that. We don't even know who's behind all of these funds.
Well, I think basically, let's be able to separate these two things. Right? Fighting it right, that's very important. Using the weapon of the media as well, it's not a wrong one, I mean, whether we like it or not, because if apparently something that like that, you see, we keep asking for information. That's the truth. We are even saying that, even let us know more about what is going on.
So is there a possibility that you could be fed with the wrong information, even from the EFCC?
Well, there is a possibility that a man could be misled. There is a possibility that anyone could be misled. But then the truth is that these are officers. They are trained. They are supposed to be able to shift the wheat away from the shaft.
I said that because Justice Gabriel Kolawole, there's a case going on right now with Ashinze, one of the aides to Dasuki. He has a case with the court, and according to the judge, the amount that was read or put on the paper was exaggerated. And Justice Kolawole told EFCC to retract on that statement and make corrections, and that has not even been done.
Putting a big question mark on the thoroughness on the part of the EFCC.
Of the EFCC.
We'll come to that when we take this break right now. Stay with us.
Glad to have you back. You're on to TVC Breakfast, and on to our second big story this morning, looking at the recovered looted funds coming from the EFCC. We are trying to understand how and why, and of course the prospect of more loots coming from
Yes.
outside and,
Indeed.
of course, helping the Nigerian economy. Adekunle Ojo, a lawyer, is our guest in the studio. And just before we went on that break, we were talking about the tendency to falsify information that you get or that the public are actually fed with coming from the EFCC.
Well, we shouldn't be unaware of the fact that we still have problems in this climb. Investigations largely are shortly done. And in most cases, you don't really, if you could imagine that before the same Justice Kolawole that you talked about, Ibori was brought before him on account of, I can't even remember how many count charges now. It was quite
too many counts.
Too many, right? And unfortunately, one way or the other, where he said there was no case against him, and the same man got somewhere else. It was so easy. I think basically what we really need to do is we need to do more of these forensic investigations. We need to really get our people grounded in the so that you see, if you get to bulk of our police stations up to today, what they still do is they force people to confess to certain things. There are several ways. The world has gone beyond this. In other climes, things are done in a better manner. And you could see that somebody said that the cases that were taken to court by EFCC in the recent times were lost. Somebody said, well, they needed an Ogwele. I don't know where Ogwele is. That's the problem. And another person said, well, maybe because they brought in somebody from us. I think basically it's not really about that. Your evidence is what your lawyer presents in court. It's not about the law. It's not about lawyering of a thing. It's about investigations that you did. It's like a woman.
And speaking of evidence, so far in this mother of all seizures on the part of the EFCC, the 15 billion from Ikoyi flat, so many figures that we can't even begin to reel out here for want of time. Right. When you watch some of the footage, you see that those who carry those hauls of cash actually are tampering with evidence, with forensic and all of that. So when it comes to that point then, how do you get real closure in terms of getting to prosecute the people who are behind this loot?
Well, I think basically a few things are quite clear. If I have a building and certain things were met there, they become an evidence against me. I need to really show how it got there. If someone else brought it, then I should be able to come out to say, yes, it was someone else that put it in my place. Otherwise, I become accountable for whatever happened.
That's if they even know who owns the building. They don't even know.
It's really sad. It's really sad if someone is talking about this. Every car in Nigeria is registered in someone's name. All the buildings in Nigeria are registered in someone's name, one way or the other. There is no way you won't find out who owns a building. You can go to the land registry there. You will find out one way or the other. It's really sad if they keep throwing these at themselves. If
the EFCC fails, what about the Lagos State? The houses in Lagos State, it must be registered, taxes must be paid. So
Lagos hasn't failed now. It's EFCC that should do its job now. You have the duty to investigate and investigate properly. It's not for someone to come out and say, I own the building. You find out who owns the building. If no one is coming out, definitely go and trace it out so you know to prosecute. But the beauty of it is that we already have some money now. And the joy of a good number of us is, look, all this money that we're talking about, account for it at the end of the day. So at the end of it, we'll know that this loot were recovered and they were well spent, and they were spent on things that everyone can see in society.
And that's another question that's arising from all of this.
That's really the issue.
These recoveries are already making people ask.
Quite
so where
big,
do these funds go into? How do we ensure that these looted funds that are recovered are not further re-looted?
Well, the vice president, if I could recollect so well, said something some times ago that look, some of these things will be spent on things that will impact on Nigerians and directly. I am thinking that too much time is being wasted. That's my personal feeling. I felt, look, if you have made so much, the ones that you have made before, the ones that you are making now, you need to, by now, you see, even for me, I don't know, if money has been seized by the federal government one way or the other, it's not for want of ability to repay back. If the man is able to establish that it belongs to him, you've gotten all of this. Expend it. Let us know how it can assuage our problems.
This particular Ikoyi, it's been dubbed Ikoyi
Gate.
Ikoyi Gate.
It's been causing a lot of ripple between the NIA, the Nigeria Intelligence Agency, and of course, they are claiming ownership of this particular money, $43 million found in Ikoyi flat. What do you think this might do to this government's anti-corruption war? Because it seems, yes, of course, the president has set up a committee with the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation, to look at all of the issues surrounding this particular money that we're hearing. Wike say it's Amechi. Amechi says, no, it's not mine.
Wike.
Nobody owns it, but somebody owns it.
That's why I said that the controversy
belongs to everybody.
That's one reason why I said that this controversy shouldn't be too difficult for us to unravel. Number one, who owns the building? If you start from that, then definitely you already have a man. You are pointing out as the main person who should account for whoever. You see, if I own a building
and who rented the flat from the owner of the building.
This question of the controversy does not even come up. That's for me.
Some people are of the opinion that the National Intelligence Agency are adopting this particular crime.
Yeah.
The money is not theirs, and as it is done in some part of the world, and perhaps in Nigeria too, where agencies of government adopt crime to cover up for some big wigs that maybe you don't want to go into. Is that a possibility?
The question should be, for what? How? Where did you get the money from? These are questions that we should ask ourselves.
Because maybe some untouchables are involved.
Yeah, no, I think basically, you see, that's more reason why I said I disagree with Nuhu Ribadu's position. Let these things come into. You see, we are now living in a jet age. People, informations, they are there, they're outside there. If you are ordering it, someone somewhere will tell, even your children at home will tell you, daddy will hurt this, and they will take you through media.
But this is not the first time we've had cases like that. Remember 2014, the tanker issue that came, and for a long while nobody knew who owns those tankers, where those tankers were. The Halliburton issue is still not resolved.
You imagine the helicopter issue.
It's still not resolved.
The customs said we don't know who imported it and all. But I think basically this is where the ineptitude of our some of our agencies should be is now being seen by all. If you come around and you say you own it, and NIA own the money for what purpose? When was it budgeted for? How did you come about it?
Operations?
Yes, how did you come about it? If it is covert, then this is more reason why we are saying, tell us where you get the money from.
And don't forget, the NIA is not just a local investigative intelligence agency. It is an international intelligence agency.
Yes, they have collaboration with the international bodies. Yes, that's the truth.
So I wonder how that's going to play out.
Yeah, basically, I think that's why it's good that we are all getting to know this. It's good that we are all blowing it out. It's good that the whole world now knows about it. So
are they exempt from the TSA? You're on the single treasury account. Is the NIA exempt from the TSA policy? Okay, because when the TSA came on board, we're going on break?
No. We had a guest yesterday who talked about this, Ahmed Abbas, a lawyer and a rights activist on the show. So let's hear what he had to say about this.
Whistleblower within the framework, existing framework as at today, can be protected by the government. Do you know what do you call whistleblowing? Even the police, as at today, they have whistleblowers. In case you are not aware, all over the Federation, there are people that offer information to security agencies. So the essence of the whistleblowing policy is simply to throw back the battle against corruption to the society. When you are face to face with a mind-boggling problem, you must sit down to craft radical solution. For us to have gotten to the point of bringing out this whistleblowing policy, it is because it is defying logic.
All right.
The amount of corruption is defying logic.
It really indeed defies all logic, and that's our cue to talk about the whistleblower policy, because that's part of this discussion. Article 33 of the UN Convention on Corruption, actually ratified by Nigeria, obligates governments to put in place measures to protect people who, may want to give information that will lead to recovery of this kind of funds, and of course any misdemeanors in office. Is this government doing enough to ensure that really it's serious about this whistleblower policy to take it to the next level by giving it legal backing?
I think so far so good. So good. I think the government has been, I wouldn't know about the promises made to people if they are fulfilling it, but I would want to say that by and large, those people that were, the people that that gave out information, I'm not aware that their identity has been let loose into the streets so as to become victims of the high and mighty. So I think by and large, the government has done pretty well. And I think that's where, you see, like he agreed with, my brother Abbas agreed with one thing, that look, this has been with us for a very long time.
But how does it help us that the looters remain anonymous, the whistleblower remains anonymous?
No, there is no way the looters can remain anonymous, except we have not done our job. It is
the
easier.
money from Kaduna Airport, I don't think we've gotten
Which of the money from Kaduna Airport?
Oh, there was the money
The whole
recovered.
that was, yeah.
From Kaduna
Yeah,
Airport.
from Kaduna Airport. And up to tomorrow, I'm not sure we know who.
Well, this is where, I'm not saying that people can as well, you can feign whatever you want to feign, but then that is where our security agencies, that is where they have failed us so far. So I think by and large it's about investigating. And there is no way in a country like ours, you come around to say that we couldn't find him. It is really sad. It is bad.
Okay,
it is
back
unacceptable.
to the issue of the money itself, the money recovered. I remember just a few weeks ago when a new Magu appeared before the Senate, and a question was posed to him. So how much has been recovered so far? How much do you have?
And he had no idea.
He had no
He
idea.
couldn't give us any figures.
Maybe perhaps, maybe there was because maybe perhaps it was quite, maybe perhaps he wasn't expecting that question at that
Why
very
wouldn't you
point.
expect that question?
No, let's be fair with ourselves.
Why wouldn't you expect that
Let's be
question?
fair with ourselves. Let's be fair with ourselves. What they are doing is an ongoing thing. Money keep coming in, day out. If I give a figure now, and if later it is found out that what I said is wrong, then somebody somewhere will come out again to say, look, it's perhaps I'm hiding away certain things. So let's give
You're
you that
going for
benefit.
an interview and you won't
No,
go
not-
armed
not
with the tools of your trade?
That's not part of the reason why it was there. Not to tell them about, in fact, even some of these things
But if
shouldn't even be
he
disclosed.
doesn't know, if he has no idea, who should know then?
No,
How
no,
much-
I'm not
it's like
saying-
it's like the budget and planning.
No, I've not said that it should
The
be.
minister who was
being
asked what's
asked
our debt profile and he didn't
Nigeria's
know
debt
as well.
profile was, and he had no
I
idea.
have not said that he shouldn't have the idea. I said at that point in time.
He was
because
caught- he was caught
he was
unaware.
caught unaware. That's
Okay.
it. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have an idea. And if at that point in time he had given a figure which contradicts what should, I mean, definitely somebody comes and
Of course,
says,
we do
"Look,
get your
perhaps you're
point,
hiding
but
some other things."
do you envisage any kind of logical conclusion to these looters? who
Well, I think
are
basically,
still,
I think basically
anonymous?
some of us have made record. In fact, somebody even said not quite long ago, I was on in one of our televisions, and somebody said that, look, maybe perhaps this death judgment of a thing should be extended to corruption cases and
Death
all
penalty?
what. Death penalty rate. I mean, and I felt, look, well, for me, it's in the extreme, but then that's how bitter Nigerians are. That look, we really need to get rid of some of this. And some of us have made recommendations in the past that do certain things that will cast an everlasting stigma on them in the society. The money that you recover, spend it on certain things, and perhaps you make a cenotaph on it that, look, this is the, you have built this from money recovered from so-so persons and all whatnot. So perhaps this
how
might
does
help
this
us.
rub off on us as a people in the eye of the international community? Are we a nation that is fighting corruption, or, wow,
Where the
this
truth-
country
Selective
is
justice
actually more
going on.
corrupt than we thought?
The whistleblower of a system or the recovered loot and
The
all what-
recovered loot and everything.
I think basically, I think where
Briefly.
we are today, it's a bit better than what we had in the immediate past.
Okay.
Perhaps, and I think we can always, it should be better than what we have now. It should continue, but with more vigor and more dexterity, because what we have now doesn't really show that we are doing enough. We need to do more.
We need to do more.
But beyond that, we are fighting the battle. That's the way I want to say. As a
Alright,
country.
let's hope we win as a people.
Yeah.
Adekunle Ojo is a lawyer. Thank you so much.
Thank
of
you
course,
so
the former National Vice President, Nigerian Bar Association. It's been a delight having you on the show.
Thank you.
There's more to come on TVC Breakfast, and the dot of 8 will be time for the news update. Of course, we'll be talking about the airport reopening in Abuja and a lot more. Stay with
And
us.
of course, business and sport will
Yeah,
make
indeed.
another round.